A couple came to church for the first time in years. That week, their car broke down, the washing machine quit, and the husband lost his job. When I visited their home, they said, "Pastor, we are not going back to church." I said, "Why? What's wrong?" They said, "Well, we did what we felt God wanted us to do. And the car broke down, the washing machine quit, and my husband lost his job. If that is what God does when you obey him, then we do not want to have a thing to do with him." What do you do when things go from bad to worse? Let's look at the life of Moses. Moses has been commissioned by God to bring the children of Israel out of Egypt. First, when things don't work right, Moses, with total confidence that God is going to set his people free, enters Pharaoh's presence. This is not a request by Moses. Moses is not saying, "Would you please let my people go?" It's a command. The Hebrew verbs are very intense. Moses is saying, "Pharaoh, let my people go. Let God's people go." Now, remember, Moses is doing exactly what God has told him to do. He's God's man, with God's message in God's time, doing just exactly what God wants him to do. So what does Pharaoh do? Instead of the Israelites being set free, they are forced to double their work as slaves. Not only are they to make bricks, but they are to gather their own straw. Quite obviously, when they had to gather their own straw, they were not able to make the same number of bricks. So they request a meeting before Pharaoh to find out why they were so severely beaten. Pharaoh tells them their problems are because of Moses commanding him to let the people go. They have now put it all together. They now believe it's all Moses' fault. Moses is going to go from hero to zero. He's going from penthouse to outhouse. Moses has done exactly what God has commanded him to do. And instead of things getting better, they have gotten worse. Can you identify with that? Folks, it happens. You can be doing exactly what God would have you do, and nothing seemed to work out right. An individual with faith in God, but as soon as a crisis comes, they say, "God, where are you? God, why are you doing this to me?" And if there is someone else to blame, they will blame their spouse, their employer, their neighbor, even their pastor. Now, what did Moses do? He believed God. He did just exactly what God wanted him to do. And he said everything that God wanted him to say. He said it in faith. And as a result, everything has gone wrong. Can you identify with that? Does that sound familiar? Moses saying, "Lord, it's your fault. Lord, I told you, I did not want to be the deliverer. I am not qualified." And now things have gone from bad to worse.
I am the hand to hold, I am the truth, I am the way. Just come to me, 'cause I'm all that you need.
It is only beginning. But Moses, didn't you see what happened? The priests did the same thing. Pharaoh still has the power over our lives. Yes, Aaron, it's true. Pharaoh has the power. He can take away your food, your home, your freedom. He can take away your sons and daughters. With one word, Pharaoh can take away your very lives. But there is one thing he cannot take away from you: your faith. Believe, for we will see God's wonders.